You're listening to the Screaming Pods Network.
More body doubles than, well, body double. Jamie?
Sure.
Let's go watch Flashdance. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. We're an 80s movie podcast, and every 2 weeks, we talk about a different movie from the 80s.
That's correct.
My name's Doug McCambridge. I'm one of the two hosts of this podcast, and with me, as always, is Jamie Lorello. Jamie, I noticed that it's you from the neck up, but you seem to have some sort of podcasting body double from the neck down. I don't know how you're doing that, actually.
Podcasting Dottie Bubble. Dottie Bubble.
Oh my.
We're off to a great start.
It's going to be one of these shows. No, the body double work in this movie is
yes.
outrageous. The end, I don't want to jump right to the end.
Sure.
I was laughing audibly through almost her entire performance at the end, or whoever that was in a Beals wig.
Did you want to have a cigarette or a cigar, as the judges did, or cry? Were you moved to tears?
That
I don't know. I don't know who those hodgepodge of.
smoking.
I know exactly. I didn't think dancers like to be around smoke like that. Like, don't they have to keep their lungs clear as they?
And like two scenes before that, she's smoking in this movie for the first time ever.
Very random. She just picks up the pack like, this is what I'm due now.
It's almost as though it was shot in sequence and the director was like, we're smoking now.
Yeah.
It. We got
Exactly.
2 scenes left. Smoke them if you got them, guys.
And it looks uncomfortable. It just does. But
what does the what dancing?
Oh no, the dancing is it dancing or like is it running around really fast?
It's
and
a lot
then,
of jumping. It's a lot of jumping.
Running in place.
Running around. Yes, it's a lot of running and jumping. It's not dancing as I would describe it.
No, it's not dance,
But there's so much different dancing because every performance at this, I want to call it a bar.
Well, it says bar on the outside. It says nothing about being any kind of illicit club. The other guy clearly advertises his place as like a club, and this is like, that's why I was like, is it, I didn't understand, except that it's, I guess, the more PG, and they really gear toward the performance as an art at the bar, as opposed to at the club, where they,
right.
The performance was a,
right. Okay, wait, sorry. We jumped right into it.
We're in it. We're swimming in the midst of it. We're in our leg warmers and, shoulders are exposed.
One thing real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We have decided that for our next anniversary episode, which will be at the end of May, so it is a long ways out, but we are going to choose a listener-requested show.
That's right.
As we normally do over Halloween, where we ask people just to suggest things to us, and then we will pick them out of a hat. Here's what we're going to do this time. Suggest stuff to us. We will take suggestions from films that we have not seen. Mm-hmm. We will choose 3, and then the week before we do this, everyone will vote on this online. So it will be a listener-chosen episode, and I will give that listener something nice.
I'm excited.
If there is a movie, and again, we have only opened this up in the past 2 horror movies, so if there is a movie you want us to cover,
this is a bigger range, yeah.
You could throw horror into the mix, that's fine.
Sure.
But anything.
We're up for anything, yeah. We're open.
And again, you're trying to find movies that we have not seen. So perhaps the more obscure, the better. I don't know. Hit us with some stuff. Throw 5 or 10 at us.
I don't know.
I'm okay with that.
You say movies we haven't seen that are more obscure. Had you seen this movie?
I had seen this
movie.
movie.
You had?
It's a very fuzzy recollection of seeing it. It was not early on. It was probably in the 90s. I'm assuming when I saw this, I was home from college either over the summer or winter break or something. And
Was it just on the TV?
It was just on in the middle of the day.
Gotcha.
And I don't know that I watched the whole thing.
Okay. But you were like, oh, this is that movie.
Yeah. There was enough of this. I don't think I watched the whole thing because about halfway through, I didn't remember any of it.
Did you know about her construction worker owner boyfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really does, and not to spoil anything, but I did not know about her stripping friend. I don't even think I ever made it to the ice skating part of this movie because that surprised me.
That's random. Well, it surprised me too.
Yeah. So, in case you, I guess, didn't read your little podcast thing that came up, the movie we're talking about is Flashdance.
That's right.
From 1983,
83,
directed by some guy named Adrian Lyne, who I just found out directed a lot of movies.
He's a saucy guy.
And some pretty good ones, too.
Yeah, put it on that list of good.
And some pretty terrible ones. But, hey, he runs the gamut. Good for him.
You know, and was this one of his first? This was beginning of his
career? This was early. I think he had done some TV stuff. This may have been his first feature film.
This was his Flashdance.
I don't know if that word means what you think it means.
Well, I think the Flashdance part is the running in place. Is that the actual flash dancing when she does it? Or
I don't know that Flashdance is a word.
It's the name of the movie.
Other than the title, I mean, other than the title of this movie,
you don't know that it's a thing?
I don't think there is a dance. I don't think you could go out and study Flashdance.
Well, no, because she is, as we know, she did not go to school to learn her style of dance.
So you're saying she made this up. She made up Flashdance.
She is Flashdance, is what I'm saying. Okay.
I agree. I cannot argue that point.
And she is Jennifer Beals, right?
Yes.
I thought she was I had never seen this movie before. Of course, I knew about it, and I knew about the one scene when she's dancing like a maniac. I mean, obviously, I knew that. I knew a lot of the music from it, which was fun. Because that one workout routine, and that's essentially what she does. She's like, I gotta dance it out, because she's just had a day.
I watched that, and I wrote in my notes, oh, she's dancing. And then I went, I think she's working out. But maybe this is dancing. I didn't know.
Well, her dance is a workout. Didn't you listen when she told him it frees her? It's freeing.
How about her kabuki theater type dance routine?
That wasn't her. That was one of the other ladies. I thought it was her too.
It was her, Jamie.
No, I thought it was one of the older ladies.
It was her, but it was a total body double because of the white paint on the face. They figured nobody could tell it wasn't Jennifer Beals. It really was supposed to be her. That was her dance.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be that older lady that at the end is talking to her. And it's like
the older lady that's like, just slit your wrists.
Yes, the Debbie Downer. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we do also get to see Penny from Dirty Dancing. That's what I'll call her.
I jokingly said when we covered her in that Tom Selleck movie. What was that movie? Runaway.
Oh yeah.
When we covered her, I said to you jokingly, if we talk about Flashdance, we have covered her entire filmography.
And there we have it.
We're done. Let's close the book on Penny, probably in about an hour.
Good job, Penny. She did. I mean, she did a little dance number. She had a little solo dance that they did.
She crawled on the floor.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of crawling. Mm-hmm. She had a sparkly face.
Yeah.
The costume. Anyway.
Production values of these dances.
For the bar? What about the one? It was the kabuki one that he couldn't watch. He was like, I don't even know what's happening.
That was terrifying.
Whoever that dude
and was that the one where she started out like the old Maxell commercial where she's in the seat and turns on the TV and it blows her back?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my God.
At the end of that routine, I had a seizure because then they do the flashing lights, and I was like, this isn't necessary.
It looked like they brought David Lynch to come in and direct one dance sequence because it was truly upsetting.
Yeah, it was intense.
There was a wall. There was like a black and white checked wall that they brought in just for this specific dance and rolled it on television.
Yeah, the television, the whole thing. It was...
And I assume these girls are choreographing their own routines.
Sure,
right?
Of course. Who else would? That's why when they watch each other, they're all proud of each other. And it's called the Flashdance. Well,
it's not called...
I'm overusing it now. I think I'm overusing it now.
You're just trying to work. I know you're just trying to work titular into this.
Well, it's like weaving a web.
I do have to say that 2 weeks ago, when we did our Midnight Madness episode, we did hear on social media that Michelle was super excited that you used titular in her episode. So there you go. All right. I don't know. Do you just want to go? Let's just go.
What a feeling. Let's just do it. Let's just jump in. I mean, we're dancing around it. So let's just jump right in. We'll open up.
Sure.
Again, the songs from this movie I think are pretty iconic, I want to say. It starts with the whole song, that What a Feeling song. What a feeling.
And we did in our patrons only episode, in the Hollywood Nights episode, we really slammed the music in that as being just like a mixtape, like a 60s California mixtape.
Right.
This is pretty great. Like the
Yeah,
soundtrack
it's
to
really
this
fun.
is great because all the songs make sense.
Yes.
Everything makes sense and feels like it all goes together.
It's a great soundtrack. If you feel the beat. Is that song even in there? I feel like at one point it is.
I have no idea.
How wonderful is Her Dog? But we're not there yet.
Her Dog is great, except that I believed early on that it was supposed to act as a guard dog, but it really just seems afraid of everything. And when they're fighting, when she and that guy are fighting, the dog's like, I'm out of here. I gotta go.
I don't know what's going to happen here. Gruff, though. What's its name? It's got a weird name.
Like Stink or something. I don't think it's Stink. I didn't write it down. But yeah, it is like Smudge or Barf or something.
Yeah, some kind of
just
gargle. Something with
gargle.
a G. It's like a bottling.
I hope that's it.
We open up and it is that song, that What a Feeling song, and there's a girl on a bike riding through the city. We find out soon enough, it's the metropolis of Pittsburgh, right? That she's from.
And this movie is unashamed that it's like, listen, this is Pittsburgh. It's dirty. It's gray. And nobody wants out of the city. Like nobody's, except for that comedian.
Oh, yeah, and he comes back.
Yeah, and her dream is not even to, like, get out of this garbage town. It's like, this is shit, and we love it.
Yeah, and I'm going to dance here. Yeah, there's a reputable dance company in a
museum?
Yeah, it looks like it is.
I didn't know where she was going. She walked up, and I'm like, it looks like maybe a city library. I'm not sure.
Dancers need elegant buildings, okay?
I understand. I get it.
She, though, when we meet her, is not just a dancer. She is a welder on a construction site, right?
Yeah.
Wow, how rad is that? Clearly the only woman, right? I didn't see any other women. She's, like you said, she's 18. She's very young. And it's not really... It's interesting that she is the only female and her boss doesn't know it till later that night when he sees her dancing.
It only seems like there's 20 people working there. There's not a whole lot of dudes on the job. Like at one point, I think you see all the employees sitting around eating lunch.
Oh, at the end when they applaud, don't they applaud them when they're fighting?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the part.
Yeah. I don't know how he missed it, but yes. Later that day, he's taken to this bar.
Because the guy that he's talking to, the guy that takes him to the bar, sounds like Harvey Firestein. He's like, this is one of your employees. And he like recites her social security number. Because the guy's like, if you know anything about this girl, I'll give you a raise or whatever he says. He's like, 20758. And I'm amazed that this guy did not know that she was an employee.
Had no clue. But watch, So this dance threw me a little. Her first dance, it's kind of classy because again, they're not really strippers. They are truly like performance dancers. Mm-hmm. And so it's very like silhouetted on the stage, right? She's just kind of dance, but she does, and this threw me off because again, like you said, for this little dinky bar, this Maubrey's bar, I think it's called, they're able to do there's a lot of production value to their dances, right? Yes. She dumps a bucket of water from I don't know where on herself in the middle of her dance, but it helps because clearly she likes dancing with very wet hair, so it keeps her hair very wet. And that's part of her
as
dance.
She's dancing. I am so confused as to what this bar is because it looks like they just serve garbage beer. Everything is just Iron City signs everywhere. Uh-huh. And the guy in the back is just making burgers. But this dancing is so, I don't know, high class. Like you said, performance art. It doesn't make any sense. And very early on when she splashes water on her, there's a bunch of guys playing cards at a table that get splashed and seem irritated like they brought their own cards to this bar.
It's quite the hangout for
very
Pittsburgh,
confused by this, yeah. And even the guys who own the strip club want to go to this bar.
Yeah, they go here.
To hang out.
Yeah, it's true. Well, you can only guess it's either the burgers or the talent that's up on stage. Right?
Well, I mean, I think later we see that these guys might be poaching ladies for their place.
Well, the stripper guys, but what about the strip club guys? But what about everybody else?
I have no idea because later we see the strip club and it is also
very packed. Very packed. Yeah.
These are competing places that are probably right across the street. From
I don't think they're far away at all. No.
It appears that this is the only thing to do in the city of Pittsburgh.
These two places. You divide yourself between the two. I literally drew a picture of her hair. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see where it says that hair?
Oh,
and
yes.
I drew her curly hair because she does have some good hair in this movie, I think.
Yeah, I did not like she and her boyfriend's dueling perms at times, though. I was like, they should not both have the same hairstyle.
The boyfriend annoyed me, I have to say. I didn't think that he
is useless.
Oh, useless. Well, so that's weird. So, okay, so this first dance where she dumps the bucket of water on her head, that's where she meets her later boyfriend. It's the owner of the construction company that she works for, and he is smitten with her and kind of stalks her for a little bit of this. It's awkward. He's clearly older than her because he's like been married before and he's the owner of it. And he could care less that there's an age difference and that she's an employee.
Here's what I will say. Here's what I will say to the defense of that is I really like how it almost seems that the normal stereotypical roles were reversed in that he is chasing her the whole time and she, for the most part, doesn't really need him, doesn't really seem to want him. Like, her drive is that dance.
Even when he does try to help, I respect that she didn't want to take his help. She kind of wanted to. I don't think she should have tried to jump out of the car in a tunnel. I think that's
and
poor
throw
timing.
A shoe and then walk home on one shoe. Bad idea, lady.
Sometimes she's making
also
poor choices.
In a tunnel at night.
Yeah.
It's not going to last. It's not going to last. This guy's going to have to find some older woman closer to his ex-wife's age, probably, and somebody who has no dream of higher aspirations than getting out of Steel Town.
I'm glad we were clear about that. Maybe he could swoop up the ice skater. Huh?
You know what? That's a great idea. Because she is, the last time we see her, she is a broken shell of a woman.
Yeah, it's not been easy. And is she related to anybody that works at the...
First of all, I thought they were sisters for the longest time.
Oh no, I knew. So you don't really know much. Alex, by the way, is the dancer's name. She, you don't really find out much about her family. Even I thought she was visiting her grandmother at one point, but it's just this older lady who she somehow befriended, and who she herself was a dancer.
She talks about her dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think she needs a father figure in her life. That's why she's with this older guy.
Oh,
like,
look at you with your psychoanalyzing.
Listen, I got to analyze this movie because it's just dance montages. Like, I had to get in and really, anytime somebody spoke, I had something to hold on to.
You didn't feel it? You weren't moved by the dancing? There are full crazy dance montages.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah. You
I
were
remember
moved by him.
a while ago, I don't remember what our last dancing movie was, and I said to you, I want to watch more dancing movies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's the case anymore.
You're not sure? You're not sure. Well, were you thinking dancing like Xanadu dancing or dancing like girls just want to have fun dancing?
Well, first of all, I didn't like either of those movies, which is weird. Why do I want to keep watching these movies?
Oh, and then there was Breakin'. Totally different
Loved
type
Breakin'.
of dance. There was a bit of breaking in here.
It was a breakdancing montage.
Yeah.
Backed up to a workout montage.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
A traffic cop montage. There were 3 montages in a row in this movie.
How fun was that, though?
I loved it. That workout scene was amazing.
It was kind of silly.
Oh, it was super silly.
What machines were they really using? I couldn't really tell.
Don't know.
They made
and everything was against
very
the
awkward
white
faces.
backdrop
Yes.
that was like backlit.
I do like that Penny was struggling with her dumbbells or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we're jumping all around here. We're all around. We're not flowing.
This
There's
is
no
when we
flow
get
here.
to those scenes and we're like, and we already talked about them.
And we already covered that. Yeah. It's called flash dancing, people. We did the iconic dance scene. She does that pretty quickly. She jumps into that second dance where she's running in place at home. That's her like de-stress from the day.
Oh,
dance.
her de-stress. Yes.
She's a maniac, and it's adorable the way her little dog. Well, he's not that little, but her dog watches her.
Well, I think it's important to note that as we said, her friend, who's a waitress / ice skater, is dating a guy who is the cook / comedian.
Oh, yeah.
At this place. So this is really like an old burlesque, like they come out, like a comedian comes out. He tells a few terrible jokes.
Oh, he's a terrible comedian.
He is the
He's
worst.
telling some awful jokes and laughing annoyingly at his own jokes while he cooks the burgers. And then when he gets a little time on stage, he finally does kind of make it work. Because even the crowd doesn't like him when he's first on stage again. But then he makes it work, but still he's a poor comedian. And
it's weird because he makes it work by talking about his position as the cook. He makes some very, relevant jokes about, I'll put cockroaches in your hamburgers. People start to come around then, but then he just falls back on Pollock jokes, but suddenly they are bringing the house down.
Sure.
It is ridiculous. And based on this one performance later, he goes to L.A.
But he doesn't make it there. He comes back soon after. You missed the burp.
And it's one of those things where I was like, of course he didn't make it. Is anybody surprised that he's back? Is he surprised that he's back? His performance was terrible. His jokes are awful. Because his jokes are jokes. His jokes are just jokes.
His jokes are just jokes. You're right. He was very cheesy. And but you're right. He's dating her one friend.
Mm-hmm.
And just
What's
he's
her name?
Overall he's just nice to everyone. I don't know that I wrote her name.
I want to call her
down.
Cindy.
Okay.
Poor Cindy. Did you read about her? She died before this movie was even released.
Oh, no way. I didn't read that.
Aneurysm. Just boom, dead.
That kind of crap scares the poop out of me.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It really does, because that just happens.
30 years old, I assume playing 18 in this.
And such a promising ice skating career besides.
I think that was a person with a wig, too. I'm not sure. I am not sure.
I don't know. Those moves were pretty piss poor, though. And then she literally fell,
twice in a row.
3 times, I thought it was. Maybe it was just
twice.
Was
it 3 times? I don't know.
I
felt so bad for her, because she's just on there, and I'm like, who's this old man that came out to help her? Is he, just a judge that feels bad?
Well, okay, so there's a scene, I don't know when that is.
Sorry,
there's a scene when
I'm
she goes,
stepping
no.
all over your
the flow, but that's okay.
Great notes. I'm sure it's just.
No, you're not. Oh, she goes to church. We have that. She sees her. Hannah is that old lady's name, who is Hannah is the lady that sort of encourages her to be a dancer, takes her to watch the ballet.
She's her friend. Why is she friends with this
We
old woman who
don't
doesn't
know.
seem related?
We don't know because at the end, when the old lady dies, she doesn't know until she's going to visit her. And the woman who tells her doesn't seem to know who
No.
Alex is. So it's weird. But she's very encouraging to her. She wants her to make it, as a dancer. And believes in her, and she does. They go to a ballet at some point together, and they talk about him like this is something they do.
Yeah, I love how they go to a ballet, and they walk out, and Jennifer Beals, as though it's the first ballet she's ever been to, which we know it isn't, she goes, does the lead dancer always get flowers after every performance? I'm like, what are you, 10? Like, have you not seen this happen before?
But she's a little inquisitive about anything that can bring. Like, later on, after she sleeps with the guy, she was like, well, how do you know? How do you know what you want to do for the rest of your life? Or, like, she asks these, like, goofy questions from time to time.
Very existential questions.
Yeah, if you will. She also goes to confession. She's a churchgoer. She's a Catholic girl, I suppose. And she does go to confession. She's got a little obsession with sex. She can't stop thinking about sex. She's a young girl. She's hormones are raging. And she's lied. She's lied about these dance auditions. She told Hannah she went. And she did try to go. Is this when she did try to go to the dance audition at this Academy of Dance or whatever it is in this museum. Nobody else looks like her. They're all like ballet dancer looking and buns in their hair. And
this is a good looking movie. I think that the camera work for the most part is pretty good. And I really did love the shot where it just panned down with all their little ballet slippers and it gets to her big clunky work boots. I thought that was really great.
I wish we knew, like, did her dad teach her to weld? Like, I wish there was a little.
I mean, she had to have gone to trade school for this, right? Like, she went to Votech in high school.
She Voteched it.
Learned. She Voteched it, and then she Flashdance it.
That's how Alex did it.
I don't want to say that there's like 8 better movies happening in this movie, but I kind of think there is. I want more of her backstory. I want her weird relationship with this old lady. I want to know how this ice skater and this terrible comedian ever got together in the first place.
And how are things working out for them?
Not well, apparently.
No.
Because he doesn't even tell her he is going across the country.
Yeah, he's just like, well, she'll be okay.
She'll be fine. She won't end up stripping.
But she does. Things go bad.
You know what? I saw her fall a few times on the ice, and she appeared to be devastated. I think I'm going to skip town.
And her dad's a little hard on her, P.S. So, like... Right?
Oh, her family doesn't like her. Her family doesn't like her boyfriend.
They come
her boyfriend
through at the
doesn't
end.
seem to like her. The only support she has is Alex, who now is going away on some ballet excursion at the end of this, and will have no time.
We don't know
for her
that she
little friend.
leaves Pittsburgh. Maybe the ballet performs there. You don't know. Is she in a traveling
You're
ballet?
right. I really enjoyed. And I'm sure this was done on purpose 100% because I talked about how terrible this city looks throughout the movie. Like, it's the most gray movie I think I've ever seen. And at the end, when she comes out, it's like spring. There's trees with leaves. He has flowers.
After she scored the audition?
Yeah, like we finally see red for the first time.
I think that's actually winter in Pittsburgh. Isn't that what winter looks like in Pittsburgh?
Oh,
and the rest
well,
of
we do see that it is Halloween. And
yeah.
Yeah. But that was the weird thing is that she goes in this audition. I was like, what is this? Is it summer? Did she wait this long? It was literally Halloween 2 scenes ago.
It's true, it was. And that's when he came back with the dragon costume on, or the alligator costume.
Oh,
the comedian comes back with a weird costume.
Sorry. We're not sticking with what we normally do, and I don't mean to keep...
Because you're flash dancing, it's okay.
I am all over the place with this.
Because you're a maniac, I know.
Because there's not much of a story here, to be honest.
Yeah, but there's so much to talk about.
Okay, go ahead. I don't even know where we are now. We've introduced all our main players.
Yeah, the girls working out. We talked about that too. I love rock and roll, which is pretty great. there's a weird dinner at her friend's house. She does go to this friend we were talking about at her house for dinner. And that's an awkward exchange where her dad is like, they're eating, and they are kind of like, they're eating corn on the cob, which you don't really do daintily. And the dad's like, you girls are eating like pigs. Haven't you eaten? And he's just rude as hell to him. But it turns out her friend, so everyone in this group of friends has an outside passion, or at least maybe they do. So Alex is a welder / flash dancer. And what did we say her name is? Cindy? Cindy?
I'm going to call her
friend?
Cindy. Yeah, sure.
She's
Cindy.
the ice skater. That's what she practices.
She's
for
a
2
waitress
years doing.
/ ice skater. Yes.
I mean, you do what you got to do, I guess.
It's a very weird movie because it's like, this feels like an LA movie. Like, I want to be a actress. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a singer. During the day, I'm going to wait tables. During the day, I'm going to strip. Like, you don't expect that in the city of Pittsburgh.
Well, when they have such a bustling dance company, I suppose all the dancers want to go to Pittsburgh. I agree.
But I don't know dance. So.
They're the shit. They're the shit over there. And,
well, that's fair.
And I guess you'd come all the way from Altoona. Isn't she from Altoona?
She is
She
from
says.
Altoona. Lots of, to me and you, probably like local geographic. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I drove through Altoona once.
Yeah,
and it
I
was
know
very
Altoona.
depressing.
Yeah, and what are those things? What do you call them in Pittsburgh? Those things that you ride that go up and down.
No. It's an incline. It's called the Duquesne Incline.
There you go.
And it goes up Mount Washington in Pittsburgh. I've been there and I've ridden it, and I don't know. It was kind of fun, I guess.
It was fun to see it. I thought it was fun to see it. I was like, look, they're really in Pittsburgh. It's not just,
as if there was any doubt.
Wow.
They're like, let's go on a date to an abandoned building.
Warehouse. Yeah, an abandoned warehouse building. How weird is that, too? And what about when she races him? She likes to, like, race him around the building and then go running up the stairs of the building.
But again, she's a kid. Oh, I have to say, did you notice, speaking of Hollywood Nights, did you notice who one of the hecklers was in the audience?
Yes, I saw him.
Yeah,
yes.
Robert Wall's in the audience yelling like, woo, Steelers.
I saw that and I had to like take a second. I was like, wait a minute, did I just...
I do think he's from Pittsburgh, and I assume that this was just downtime for him, so he just showed up.
I'm already here visiting my mom.
He may not have known a movie was being filmed.
Maybe.
And he was upset because he thought he was at a legit strip club.
That's not the strip club. That's the bar. The gentle, would you call it?
I don't know what I'd call this thing, Jamie. I don't know what I'd call it. I don't know what's happening here. I don't think it's a real thing. Right?
Maybe in Pittsburgh. I don't know. Maybe in the magical place that we're talking about. That's Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. How about that?
It's like a burlesque house. Nobody's taking their clothes off. They're just dancing.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't seem... Like, when I think of a burlesque house, and I did not see the Cher, Christina Aguilera movie Burlesque, so I don't know, but I picture something more classy, because this just seems like scuzzy bar.
You're in Pittsburgh. So how classy of burlesque show or burlesque bar do you want to get?
I have
It's
no
nice
idea.
enough. Like you said, they have the comedian, they have burgers.
Well, it's nice enough, but also every shot appears to be from a different place. Like, when they show the bar, I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's the same place as the stage is. And then they show the cook, and I'm like, none of these seem to be
places look
the
all
same
together.
location.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The back where he's cooking in the kitchen,
Where he's
kitchening in the cooking. Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, Penny does a dance where she wears a catcher's mask for a couple seconds.
Yeah, catcher's mitt and the glitter face. That's the song Manhunt, I guess. And she just does a lot of like shoulder shimmies in the beginning, and then she crawls on the floor and does the splits, I think. Really, a lot of the dancing is like flailing her body around the stage, right?
That's why I wonder if Jennifer Beals is prepared to join this ballet troupe.
Well, the nicotine-addicted judges seem to think so. So she gets
it was
in.
a toe-tapping, nose-blowing good time there.
Oh, like yeah, one guy was blowing his nose. That's right.
In time
That's right.
with the music.
Because you feel that beat even in your sinuses.
I guess.
P.S. The way that her boyfriend finally gets her to go out with him the first time is he literally like follows her home, doesn't he?
Well, he stops her from being assaulted in the parking lot by the guys who own, I guess, the strip club. I guess they own it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they at least manage it. Yeah, I forgot that. They try to harass her. She's leaving work one day with the comedian guy. And they try to harass her, kind of try to, like, abduct her for the night. They're like, come on, we have wine and weed. Come with us. Mm-hmm. And bless his heart, the little comedian guy.
Wine and weed.
I think that's what they say.
I know.
The little comedian guy, bless his heart, tries to stop them. He's like, hey, come on, guys. They punch him right in the face, break his nose. And the construction guy just stands up and goes, hey. Leave her alone. And
he even addresses the little scuzzball by name, like they've had
apparently
or something.
Apparently they did, because then they're like, oh, come on, you used to be from this part of town or whatever.
Which again goes nowhere. Like, it doesn't matter. None of the plot lines with this guy, other than him getting her the audition,
right,
really matter. Like, it leads to fun. When she's wearing that tuxedo, Dickie, I was shocked by all of that.
That was quite the scene when his wife, I'm like, what's happening now? What is this? Because at first, not that the relationship seems so innocent. Obviously, it's not. But that scene, I was like, oh, all right. This is this scene. This is what we're doing here.
I was like, oh, you put this on to go out.
Yeah, exactly.
And where did you get this? Did you just have this in a closet?
Dancers have, I guess, provocative clothing. Maybe she does a number with it. We don't know.
Well, you know what? That old grizzled lady wanted to give her a trunk full of clothes at the end of this movie. A trunk full of outfits. Did. Yeah,
the sad lady that just wanted her to... But, it would have encouraged her to go after her dream. And that's really what the Flashdance is about. Anyway. So, yeah, after he scares off these guys. Yes. He offers her a ride home, but she preferred a bike. She rides a bike, not a motorcycle. She's not that tough. She rides a bicycle everywhere she goes.
10-speed commuter. Jamie, if I could ride a bike to work, I'd be so happy.
How fun would that be?
That would be amazing. I would love it.
Well, she does. She denies her ride, and she bikes her way home, and he follows her home, which is literally stalking.
I do like to think he was watching out for her because she was just assaulted or accosted by these weirdos who might know where she
mess
lives.
With her again. Sure. He was looking out.
Yeah, I mean, it goes bad when he kind of forces her into a date by quote unquote
firing her.
I don't like that, but
no.
Early on I thought it was more innocent.
Okay. Oh, the ice skating performance. We've touched on that. That's very random. That came at me. I was like, wait, what are we doing now? We're watching her friend ice skate. And it's I don't know where the performance is at, but it's very dark and then very, very bright in her face for a little while. And otherwise it's pretty dark. And she falls down. I think it's 3 times that she falls, but I might be wrong. Her final time that she falls, she just doesn't even get back up. She's like, I don't know if she's really hurt herself or she's just too embarrassed. She's been practicing for 2 years. Oh, yes. 2 years, and I was
not since she was 8 years old. It's just 2 years, and she is devastated by this.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You practice for anything for 2 years, that's fine.
Well, and I imagine maybe this was like the once every 5 years that the Olympic ice skating competition comes to Pittsburgh. Maybe, I don't know, because then they were like, well, now she's that's it, it's over.
The guy who owns the whatever he owns, steel mill, I don't even know what he owns, is like, you know what, she'll get him next time.
Yeah.
It's just like, there won't be a next time.
Exactly.
Like, oh man,
so we're done now. This is it. One
it's
bad
like the
run
Halley's
and you're
Comet
over it.
of ice skating competitions.
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, so
I did think it was pretty shitty when her dad watched that first skater and was like, you think she's going to beat her? No
That's
way.
what I mean. But then at the end, the dad comes around. He comes
in and makes some jokes about how good she is at falling down.
Oh, yeah. You have a big yeah, he does say
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the mom? Her mom was somebody. I recognize the mom, but I didn't make enough note of what she's from. I think she's been a mom in other things of the 80s. This is after their first date. This is when she puts on that I know that pose where she sits crouched with that oversized sweatshirt on.
Sure.
But I didn't realize it was post date with her guy, and it's while she's trying to take a bra off.
I think that's like the movie poster. I think is her sitting in that big goofy sweatshirt. Yeah. Which then became a thing. Like that was then fashionable. Like to have
the off the shoulder
cut
rip
off.
Yeah. I mean, I still find it quite comfy.
It looked extremely comfortable.
Cozy, very cozy, right?
It's almost like, and I am a person who runs hot all the time, but even the idea of leg warmers seem comfortable to me.
You are. I think you're a flash dancer.
I would never wear them because I know
I
would be sweating.
I just pictured you running like that crazy run, like making your wet hair go all around. Oh my god!
Running in place and just shaking my head.
Oh my gosh! And just water, like a sprinkler coming at you.
I thought that scene was hilarious because I just was like, oh, it's Jennifer Beals shaking water off her head. Nope, butt double. We get to watch a butt double for a while. Yeah. Oh, now Jennifer Beals' head again
butt,
shaking.
And then hip, and then butt, and then hip, and then back to, then she's doing splits. And then she's like doing these weird things on the floor where she like thrusts her body up.
That's when I questioned whether this was a dance or a workout.
I was like, what's happened? She needs to stretch. She got a leg cramp. What happened? All that running, that'll cramp you up.
I just love the romantic montage of them with the backdrop of rundown steel mills and abandoned warehouses.
And train tracks. They walk over train tracks.
They walk on those train tracks forever.
Pittsburgh romance. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And again, I think that's why people did love it, was because it gave you that this is real.
What I really loved is after this, when they're in that abandoned building, and he starts to talk to her about how, why does she dance and stuff like that. I love when he says something like, oh, that move. Do that dance move again. And she's like, I just made it up. And then she starts talking about dancing.
That's when she gets all emotional.
Crying. She's so sad about how happy she is to dance.
It means so much to her. Didn't anything ever...
And then we get a very weird and uncomfortable, under the shirt shot.
Oh, yeah. When he,
Really, it seemed very out of place.
A weird booby grope. Yeah, it was a bit... And we already know that they've slept together, but this still feels weird. I agree. They're kissing, too. Their first kiss is, a very weird, she pokes at him like a chicken almost. I've made note of that. Her face just keeps, poking around him. And then finally they kiss.
Very sexual, and it makes me wonder, for an 18-year-old, how many experiences she has already had. Because she does go to confession, so you wonder how many she's had. And when her confession we see her at, she's kind of confessing about her sexual thoughts. But she's just thinking about it.
Whatever. She pours buckets on herself. I don't know.
Well, she pours buckets. What are you going to do?
Then we have the seizure dance, the Frosty dance number. She goes to when she goes to the ballet with Hannah, her old lady friend.
Also, again, with this dance,
oh yeah, do you want to?
These dances aren't. Some of them are, but these dances aren't overtly sexual.
No. They're weird.
Just performance art. Like,
Yeah.
they're just weird.
Some of
And
them are
these
very strange.
Weird guys in their 40s and 50s who are missing teeth are sitting there just loving it, just appreciating it for the art that it is.
Agreed. But in the weirdness, they're not always wearing a lot of clothes, I guess. They are moving their body in very flexible ways. Yeah, it is weird that this audience is like riveted by it. They're like,
I think it's weird because there's a strip club right across the street.
Right.
It just seems like a strange audience. If it was a bunch of like local college kids from Pitt or Carnegie Mellon that came down, and this is what they do, and they watch it and they appreciate it and they study it. Like
you're saying the people of Pittsburgh, the gentlemen of Pittsburgh, are not cultured enough to appreciate this as they seem to be doing.
I am saying that these gentlemen wearing overalls in this movie did not appear to be that type.
Oh, I don't disagree. I will say that they were polite enough. It's not like anyone's booing them or trying to throw money at them even while they're doing their sexy dancing, you know.
The only people making inappropriate comments are the people that own the strip club across the street. And when they make appropriate comments, they then tip the waitress $100.
Yeah, how about that, right?
Yep.
She was like, I can. He's like, yes, you can. But he's so slimy.
He's so slimy. And he looked like somebody. Like, you don't know who that guy was, right?
No.
He just looked like, I'm sure he's played like a sleazeball in other movies.
Yeah.
But I'm upset now that I didn't look him up, but he was good. He was good as being a sleaze bucket.
Yeah, he was a good sleaze. I agree.
I do like when she dumped beer on his lap and his big oafy friend tried to wipe
it, yeah.
with the tiniest cocktail napkin.
Yeah, I do like when that was pretty sly actually when she dumped beer in his lap. Yeah, they don't really give him he's pursuing them, but she doesn't give them the time of day, and she's for the most part, even though she's a little bit of a crazy cat, she comes off as a pretty strong independent, you know.
Yeah,
she's not just gonna.
Who she is. Yeah,
that's who she is, right?
No more does it show than at the end of the movie when she messes up, and unlike her, I'm sorry, but loser friend, she does not give up. She has to start again, and then she does nails it even better. With some breakdancing moves and some running in place and some leaping.
It's like her last dance, and this is why because I agree, it was difficult to take it in as like, is this dancing? But I took it, I was like, is this a culmination? I'm trying to
culmination.
Thank you.
I thought you were trying to say like you were in Pittsburgh and you were like a coal mine nation.
This is the coal mine Flashdance definition. Coal mine nation.
Coal mine nation. Okay, got it. My favorite thing is, folks, if you've never heard me say this before, Jamie is a speech therapist. That is her job.
Words are tricky for everyone, okay? Just like a dancer may fall at her audition, sometimes the speech therapist fumbles over her words.
And you work with kids anyway. What the hell do they know?
Right. I make up words for them. They're like, really? I'm like, yes, that's a dingle hopper.
It is Coal Mine Nation.
Don't question me, okay? I have a degree.
I'm older than you, kid.
They do believe you. Oh, gosh.
I literally wrote in my notes, suddenly the cook is going to L.A. To do what?
Oh, he leaves. He, like you said, he abruptly.
Yeah.
Doesn't even say goodbye to the girlfriend. He's like, I got to go to L.A. I am going to go be a comedian. Well, I think at this point now, everyone is seeking their dream. And she realizes she is not doing all she could do to pursue her dream. And him leaving for L.A. is just another sign right in her face of that. And again, she was at the ballet earlier, and she was not only like inspired by what she saw, thinking I could do this, I want to, but then she also saw her boyfriend with another woman, went into a rage, goes to his house, throws a rock at his window, breaks the window, and runs away.
And Jamie, maybe had we not just watched Mystic Pizza, I wouldn't have thought
the window
this,
rock.
But I thought, like, that's not he's not dating that woman. I know it's his sister or his mom or
you
something.
go, maybe because we just watched Mystic Pizza, and I'm hip to all these.
I am hip to all these tropes in these movies now.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was his ex-wife, but you wouldn't have known that. She didn't know it. And he says, so the next day at work, she's clearly pissed. The night before, she tried to break his window. They have a fight. I do love when they go to get sandwiches. There's this big fat sandwich lady that's there.
Perhaps my favorite person in this movie.
The dog is my favorite. He's so sweet.
Okay.
But they have a fight in front of the sandwich lady, which is hilarious. They start their fight in front of the sandwich lady. They also fight in front of some of the other, like you said, 12 employee construction workers. Basically, this is his wife, and this is the one time a year that he's got to take her to these stupid. They fund the arts or they fund the dance program or something. So they go to this together, and she seems okay with that.
Yeah, I get it. It still doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like if they're both on the board or whatever, fine. Do you have?
Why do they got
to
go together? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's just for this movie. Like, I get that.
I know.
It did seem very strange.
The next scene then is where she's got her tuxedo dickie on, and they go out to some lobster dinner, and she's eating lobster very erotically, and they're very.
And doesn't he ask her something like, "How's your lobster?" And she's like, "It sucks."
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, they're having a very sexy conversation, and she's like. She's got her foot literally on his crotch when his wife walks up.
Yeah, and she's asking him if he likes to have sex in phone booths.
Yeah. She's like, or do you just like it in bed? Because I'm a flash dancer and I can have sex anywhere. But I'll tell my priest about this in 2 days. I guess. I don't know if she tells her priest about that.
She just cries. The next time we see her go to confessional, she just sobs. Because of
she's been having the sex and lying, and it's just been anyway.
Too much.
Anyway, the wife makes some sassy comments. She makes some sassy comments back, and that's when she reveals her tuxedo dickie. And
what is Jamie?
What?
You can't buy that. Can you buy that? Can you just buy the tiny front of the tuxedo?
So.
And then there's like a string that I guess ties it in the back?
Yeah, I think that's
because it's not like a Three Stooges. It doesn't like roll up when she reveals. But yeah, she takes off her jacket to reveal that, like we said, like a dickie. Like that's all she's wearing is a bow tie and a little bit of the front of a shirt.
Yeah.
And I also expected like some sort of reaction from I wanted to cut to a lady, almost like in When Harry Met Sally, and somebody would be like, "Oh, yeah." But no, the scene just kind of ends.
Yeah, and nobody in the restaurant seems to notice. I agree. I wanted some kind of hey,
Right, exactly. Yeah, some old lady. I would love some old lady to slap the old man that she's having dinner with because she can't take his eyes.
Yeah,
that's more humor is what this movie needs.
It had, yes.
Did it have humor? Are you thinking about the Pollock jokes?
No, I'm just thinking about the dog again. It's pretty cute and funny when he was watching them in bed after. He's right there, the next day. The guy wakes up and he's it was a really cute dog. I wish I remembered his name.
I don't disagree. I'm going to call him Mudge.
It wasn't Mudge. It was Grunt or something. I think Grunt.
I think you might be right, Grunt.
She finally goes to the dance place again to get the application. There's this whole spiel when they give out the application. Put all your dance schools that you've been to, all your years of experience. And really, her only experience is the bar that she works at. So I guess, right, and the workout routine she does at home for her dog.
Yeah. And I guess, this is before you can't, send in a video or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it just so... It's obviously going to be slim that she even gets, and you've got to fill out the application before you even get an audition.
Right.
But he pulls a favor
because it appears that anybody off the street can just walk in and apply, so they have to have some sort of vetting process.
Yeah, exactly. So he makes the call, and you're right. We get a little Halloween. Our friend, the comedian, comes back dressed as an alligator. She gets the letter, I guess, on a Halloween night that she gets to audition.
Yeah, she's allowed to audition, but she waits to open it until she goes to work.
Right. Oh,
and
yeah, that's
in the
right.
middle of her welding under red lights, she then opens it and freaks out and runs around at night. Like there's nobody there when she's running around
signify
yelling.
the welding job will stop because her dreams will come true.
Oh, is that what the red lights meant?
I don't know.
What did the red lights mean when Penny was dancing? And what did the blue lights mean when she dumped water on herself? And there were a lot of just hanging lights in this movie.
Yeah, it was a very well lit movie. Yeah,
it was erotically lit.
Okay,
I think
even
that's
better.
Knowing
better
this
said.
director and what he ended up doing, I can only assume this is his sort of thing.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how many red lights were in Fatal Attraction.
Oh, it's raining. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I heard it raining actually.
Yeah, that's funny. I have to. If it's warm, it's a real pretty night here. But I thought for a second I was like, is someone taking a leak over there? Like my dog, she's taking like a big old pee-pee, but it's not. It's just a window open.
Nice.
So you're right though. When she finds out that she's got the audition, she's totally excited. He slips about how he actually made the reservation the night before.
Yes.
And she
stupid.
was like, but you didn't know the night before about this, that I got this. And she instantly realizes that he made a call, and she's pissed. She jumps out of the car. They're driving through a tunnel.
People are honking. She almost causes accidents.
She don't care, though. She is pissed. I will so back up. The last time she got pissed at him, I think it was when she caught him with the
with his ex-wife.
caught him with his wife.
Yeah.
When she goes home, her radiator busts. So like every time something bad happens between the two of them, it's like the windfall of terror happens, or like just goes off.
Of terror.
I don't know if it's that bad. So after this time, when they have their fight because he's helped her get into this school or this audition, that's when she finds that her ice skating friend is dancing at the strip club.
Yes.
And she goes in there and she just literally like pulls her off the stage. She's like doing this weird, so it's like, boobies out and everyone's dancing, and her friend is like doing this weird like grindy
very strange. She's laying on her back like sitting on her butt on a table, but with her legs in the air, but they're like together
then like she's
and crossed,
swaying.
and her legs are just kind of swinging mildly back and forth, and she looks bored as anything.
Yes, well, she really wants to be on the ice. This is great when she goes in and gets her friend, and like she just kind of grabs her off stage. Is like, "What are you doing?" And the pimp guy or the owner of the club comes out. Is like, "What do you do? Take my girl!" And Alex just pushes him like right onto the stage.
Right on stage.
Is like. Yeah. And storms out with her friend and looks at her friend and is like, "Look at you! What the heck are you doing?" And it's a sobby mess for a second.
Sure.
The construction guy, or I keep calling him that. I know he's not just a construction
guy. I think he
guy.
owns the company or whatever. He owns the steel mill. I don't even know what they're doing.
And I don't know. I didn't ever caught his name, but he
I don't know
is
if they're
waiting
fixing
for her.
These old trains. What are they doing?
I don't know.
All right, okay. Go ahead.
I don't know. He's waiting for her at her house.
This is a great scene. I love how she just slaps the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, many times
This is when she has the cigarette, too. This is when she awkwardly just has a cigarette and is like, "Wow, I'm going to smoke, and then I'm just going to slap you." And doesn't he say something about giving up? Like, doesn't he inspire her at the end? Because he's like, "Don't give up on your dream," or something like that.
Yeah, something about, like, if you give up on your dreams, then you die or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
he says. Is he dead inside? Did he have a dream of not being
I assume his dream was
company?
to own a welding company. He's the one person in this movie who has achieved his dream.
Well, yes, she does ask him about that one night after they sleep together. She was like, "What does that mean?" That's part of her existential conversations. This is when she finds out Hannah died. Her old lady friend
is
died.
Dead. So sad.
So sad.
But now she's depressed, but also driven. Like,
yes.
The old lady's death spirals her into depression for about 10 seconds of this movie.
No, a week. She takes a week off of work.
Does she really? What?
Is it the death?
Oh,
Yeah.
The bar owner calls her and he's like, "Where have you been?" No, that's not the bar
Yeah.
owner, but he asks her where she's been all week, which I guess
Yeah.
you just don't show up if you
I
don't
think
want
she
to.
just sleeps in, and she just,
Yeah,
Well, it's between
all right.
she's had a fight with her boyfriend, and then she finds out that Hannah died. Then she goes back to the club, finally, after the week that she's taken off,
Yep.
and that lady gives her the inspirational speech about just go slit your wrists.
Yeah, just go kill
And-
yourself, or
Yeah.
take this trunk of old costumes I bought.
Yeah.
She is now. I understand. She is now seeing what her future could be,
Yes.
which is this sad older woman still dancing at this bar.
Yep.
And for as cool as this bar seems to me,
Yeah.
she realizes this is not what she wants to do.
Not her
and
future.
this is when she goes to confessional and just cries for a bit.
You know, she's so sad because it's all so many lies. She said she's told so many lies, but mostly she's been lying to herself because she's been saying that she's going to do this audition, and she's been saying that she's a dancer.
I
but
didn't understand who
'cause
she was lying to.
He says something about that too. He says about like, you know, he did, you know, mean well by getting her into the audition, and is like, you have to make it, he tells her. I only got your foot in the door. He says something to her like, that's what it is that you're afraid to do it and you're blaming me. So it's so many lies. There's just lies everywhere. Lies to herself. She lied to Hannah. Now Hannah's dead. She didn't lie to her friend, though. She was pretty honest. Like,
No.
your ice skating career is over and you're not a good stripper. So,
Well, she didn't say that to her. She said that to people behind her back.
True.
But that poor girl, like, her boyfriend left and she fell on the ice. Like, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel really bad for her.
And her dad's a jerk.
Yeah, her parents are terrible. She needs a change of scenery. If one person in this movie should go to LA,
get out of Pittsburgh.
it is
Yeah.
her.
You're right. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
but it's not
I-
about her. It's about Alex. And after confession and after all
Oh,
this, Alex
great.
can now go to her audition.
So, Jamie, let me just, before we talk about this audition,
Yeah.
You said you did not see this movie.
No.
And
no,
I did not see this part. But
Okay.
how many times did you see the music video by Paula Abdul for Cold Hearted Snake? Because
I just took my breath away.
because I saw that many, many times, and it
Yeah.
literally opens with it is shot. The room
You're
looks the
right.
same in that. And Paula Abdul walks across. It's a shot of her feet walking across. She puts the boombox down. She starts. It is literally this scene.
It was
is
an
that
homage.
music video.
It was an obvious
Oh,
homage.
Yeah.
Paula Abdul's a dancer.
It's-
She knew what she was doing. She herself may consider herself a flash dancer for all I know. I don't know because I'm not in the club.
When
I don't
I
swing my
saw
wet
this
hair around.
part in the movie, I frantically searched to see if Paula Abdul choreographed this dance. Because
What?
as Jamie, she choreographed the 10-second dance at the beginning of a Smoky Mountain Christmas. So she was in the biz. I
Oh,
had
you're
to
right,
see
you're right. You had to
if
check,
she.
yeah.
I had to see, but she did not. But I was very, very excited about it.
You did. Nice. That was a nice reference. I never really forget about Paula Abdul, but for a moment I had, and you brought her right back into
You know, I
memory.
mean, I hope this teaches you
Yeah.
to never forget about Paula Abdul. She's so relevant.
How about when she danced with that cat? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that
Straight up-
cat that wanted to have
Yeah.
sex with her. Yeah, that was great.
We are so close to the end of this movie, and we stop because Paula Abdul.
Paula Abdul just halted this podcast. Just stopped.
She
it in
abducted
its
it.
tracks.
She was like, forget it. Flashdance? How about Paula Abdul dance?
Right. She's like, Flashdance, who the fuck cares? People 20 years from now are going to remember this as the Paula Abdul scene in this movie. You know what I'm talking about? 25 years from
So
now.
did you only envision Paula Abdul doing this dance once she started?
Listen,
That's
we
all right.
only ever had one interview on this podcast. I'll try and get Paula Abdul to come on.
I don't know why. I was part of her fan club. I was a big Paula Abdul admirer.
Big fan. You had Spellbound. Yeah. That was her album, right? Spellbound.
Wasn't that a later album though? Let's not get crazy.
Man, I don't know. My sister had
let's not
two
get
of
crazy.
them.
I had the earlier stuff, I believe. I think maybe Straight Up Now Tell Me was its own album, and Shut Up and Dance, was that an album maybe?
Oh my God. We should start a Paula Abdul spin-off podcast. This is something for our Patreon listeners that we may just start. Go through each track on each album and really just analyze it.
Right?
Really just get into her head and say, Paula, what were you really thinking about here?
I'm sure very much a lot. Very much a lot.
All right, let's get into this Last Dance.
It's back to that song, What a Feeling, right? That's what she performs to.
Yep.
And it is What a Feeling. Was this song written specifically for, I think it was, for this movie? Because it has to do with, I mean, it basically tells her story.
Yeah, right. Is it the one that starts out with, like, she's in a steel town? Mm-hmm. Or is that a different song? I don't even know.
No, it's this one.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
It's a great song. And
this song, I think, won an Academy Award, Jamie, for this movie.
Well, I was moved when I listened to it. I can't help but feel inspired and like I want to reach my
I've already
dreams.
said this soundtrack is, I'm going to say,
dynamite.
Slamming. Like,
yeah. All right.
Folks, if you don't want to watch this movie, I get it. But find the soundtrack on YouTube. I'm sure there's like a playlist of songs because I was kind of into all the music in this movie.
You were toe tapping. You were smoking your cigar. You were blowing your nose.
My cigar.
Yeah.
Adjusting my glasses.
There's a judge panel of like maybe what, like 7 or 8 judges, right?
I didn't think
men
that.
and
I thought
women.
Like 5, but
was there? Yeah. Okay, and they're into her dance. She starts, she stops because she. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure what happened. She kind of falls down, I guess, and then
she's just not feeling it.
Then she starts the record right from the beginning, and she does it again, and oh my God! Wait, I just had another Paula Abdul flashback. Do you remember the video she did with Keanu Reeves?
Yes. Hush, hush. Hurry, love. Come to me.
Sorry.
I'm going to say one of Keanu's top 3 performances, to be honest.
They did a Rebel Without a Cause thing. They did like a thing
of
on
course
Rebel.
they did.
Okay, anyway. Just totally hijacked this poor Flashdance podcast. Anyway. Okay, so this ending Flashdance, this is what's going to seal the deal. It's a beautiful audition. People are moved. I think they're crying at the end.
That lady who I thought was a receptionist is one of the judges on this panel. And she is moved. The one who's tearing up and just like, her reactions are as though she is watching something that has never been done in the history of man.
Yeah. And she really, I mean, like you said, I guess it's not what I call dancing, but I'm not a good dancer, maybe. I mean, I feel like I could feel a good beat, and I feel sort of like Alex, that sometimes when I'm on the dance floor at a wedding and I close my eyes, I am someplace else, and it feels amazing. But well,
you know what it's all about, JB? It's all about confidence, and she exudes confidence where she could just run in place and shake her head, and it appears as though she's dancing.
You're right.
I love when she runs and jumps and dives.
Oh yeah, she's got this weird jump thing that she does. Yeah, it looks really fun.
It does.
And maybe that's why people are so moved by it.
But this, again, like I said very early on, I was laughing throughout this because whoever is actually dancing and wearing that Jennifer Beals wig, like, it is insanely not her. It is laughable how much this person doesn't look like her. This person runs up to the judges. We see her face. It is not her. And she's like pointing at the judges as she goes by each of them. And I was like, this is terribly shot.
See, I didn't take that in. I was moved by the moves, I guess.
Okay. All right.
I was. I guess now that looking back, I'm like, I should have watched more closely. But I think I was just, I think actually my eyes were recovering from the scene where we had all the light flashing and she was the cookie dancer. I think I was still like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh. The last 20 minutes of this movie are just a blur to you.
Exactly.
She comes out. Her construction owner boyfriend is there with her.
The
Her
dog's
dog
there.
is there. It's got like a red bow around its neck.
Yep. He's got a beautiful bouquet of red flowers. They hug, they embrace, and the last... it's a freeze frame.
It is a freeze frame.
At the end, and it's her kind of handing him her flowers.
Yeah, it's very awkward. I noticed that, and I went, why would you stop here? Why?
It was weird. And then that was it.
It was almost like the director was like, okay, now give him back the flowers. We'll shoot it again.
Yeah.
Okay, give him back to him. Why did they stop there?
They were in. They were over it.
Well, Jamie, you have never seen it before this. So
No.
What were your thoughts? How do you feel about this movie?
I didn't... Well, it's layered, because I definitely didn't hate it. I think I saw how, if I had seen it earlier, I would have kind of enjoyed it and related to it even more than I did. So like I said, I didn't hate it, but watching it now, myself now, thought there were things I would have liked to change. Like you said, I wish that there was more backstory. I didn't need her to have the boyfriend. So I would have tweaked it to make it like my preferable Flashdance, but I see why it is as popular as it is. Mm-hmm. I see how people could connect so much to it. I do kind of relate to that whole passion for the arts and seeking, what you love.
Sure.
I thought she was enjoyable. I loved her little dog. The dances were weird, but it was fun. Mm-hmm. But like as a movie as a whole, I'm like, well, me personally likes a different, deeper storyline maybe, but it was enjoyable. So I think that was a little wordy, but I liked it. I recommended it. I could see why it was a good movie. Why people would enjoy it.
I kind of agree with you, but I think our verdicts are different because I did not enjoy this. Like I think this is a perfect movie, and I would love to see some sort of fan edit where it is only the montages and the dances. Like we could cut this down to like 38 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think you'd still kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I didn't need her to be involved with the dude, but I guess the dude helped her get the job and opens her up a little more because you need some sort of a love interest. But I didn't need him to be the love interest. But you only need
a love interest because it's a movie. Like, I mean, it seems... I don't know. It just like I don't need the comedian. I don't even like I enjoyed the dance sequences. Again, this is why I'm asking for more dance movies, I guess, because I enjoyed those. I enjoyed all the montages. For as goofy as that workout montage was, I was all in on that nonsense. Yeah, it wasn't good though.
I thought it was good, but I see what you're saying. And I do think that it was also kind of geared toward, definitely more of a chick flick.
Oh, it was. No, this is a movie where when my kids are a little bit older, I guess old enough to see boobs.
Sure.
Like, I'll tell them to watch this movie. Like, this is, I believe, a female empowerment film.
Yeah. Believe it.
Yeah,
it is.
I do.
Yeah, she's a strong woman.
Right. I just think that it is... The surrounding cast is bad. I don't think she's necessarily bad, but I just didn't like him. I just didn't think he was necessary.
The boyfriend?
And he was in it way too much. Like, I was like, let's not do this.
And their scenes felt awkward, like you said. Like
I didn't believe that they wanted anything to do with one another.
Yeah. But,
any recommendations? Any dancing movies? Any flashing movies?
Nothing dancy, but something that relates to the whole struggling artist and striving, for your passion. Right. Have you seen the Amazon show, or do you know the Amazon show Mozart in the Jungle?
No, you've talked about it before.
Have I? I
don't know
sure
that it was
a
recommendation, but I know you and I have talked about it. And I've only seen it from the pictures, like the screenshots that come up on Amazon. So I never, like half the time I looked at it, I was like, this looks like some weird fantasy film. And then,
it does. Those pictures do give it a different. And I have to say, I haven't seen. There's 4 seasons now, I think, and I haven't seen the 4th. But the first 3 seasons, it's basically about this oboe player who wants to be in the New York Symphony, and so she's sort of your struggling artist, where she's like, but it takes place in New York City, not Pittsburgh.
Sure.
She wants to again work for be in the New York City Symphony, and Gail, what's his name? He's got 3 names: Gail Garcia Bernal. Gail Garcia Bernal, Gail Bernal.
Sure.
He's this adorable little Hispanic man, and Hispanic actor, and he plays this conductor for the symphony, and he's just brought over from Mexico, and she doesn't get into it's great, and Bernadette Peters is in it, so it really it kind of gives you. He rides a bike throughout it like she does to get around.
You're really tying it in.
There's some similarities there, and it reminded me of a Flashdance, but Flashdance in the symphony perhaps. But it's the same, like they have a love for the music, and he's very passionate about the music, and his character is really fun. And Lola Kirk plays the oboe player. It's based off of the book.
Who that is. Okay.
I threw her name out like you should.
I was like Lola Kirk. Okay, got it.
What about you? Do you have a flash dance movie?
Here it is. Jamie, you know that I love foreign nonsense, artsy, goofy, like obscure movies that I like to say that I like, so I sound smarter.
You do?
And also, I love terrible movies. I'm going to recommend a terrible movie that a lot of people have probably seen and knew that it was terrible, but I am suggesting people watch it again to understand that the terribleness is super fun, and it is the movie Showgirls from 1995.
With Elizabeth
Hurley, directed by our good friend from RoboCop, Paul Verhoeven. It's a movie that I remember seeing. I think I saw it in the late 90s, like when it was relatively new. And I just went, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. But I watched it later, and it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. If you just watch it for the poor delivery, and the dialogue is terrible. Oh my God. And the acting is awful. If you appreciate a just a terrible movie to laugh at, because it is literally like start to finish the most laughable thing you've ever seen.
Okay.
I don't normally recommend
movies
like this.
I don't know that I've seen it.
Oh, Jamie, you need to watch it.
Okay.
Every line of dialogue, it's delivered as though it is a 7th grade play. Like, it is so bad, but it's shot well. And there are capable actors in it. Not Elizabeth Hurley, but she's surrounded by capable actors who can perform well, but it's just misguided and wrongheaded at every turn. It's super fun.
Oh boy.
So watch Showgirls. All right, Jamie, let's do this. First of all, if you are a new listener, and Jamie, I know that you know, and I know that we joined a new podcast network called Screaming Pods, and
Pods. We
have a bunch of new listeners. So if you have not yet gone to Apple Podcasts and left us a review, please do so. It helps us out. And also, when we hit 50, we did a bonus episode. When we hit 100, we will do another bonus episode. That's right. I think I know what it might be. Since for our bonus episodes, my plan is to just steal ideas from other podcasts.
Smart.
I think I'm totally down with this, and it may have something to do with Jeff Goldblum. But
I love it.
2 weeks from today, Jamie, our podcast comes out on 420.
Hey.
So, I don't know. Grab your bong.
I wish I could make a bong noise. Like, I could kind of...
No, you don't. What?
It totally did.
That's a bong noise. Those are my kids blowing bubbles in the bathtub noise. like a breathing in action, not a blowing out with sound. Jamie, we're destroying our street cred here with this. So anyway, do that to a bong, I guess. And so With our 420
man.
episode, of course, we thought maybe like pot-centered movies, but most of them from the 80s are just like Cheech and Chong movies. And to be honest,
Right.
I had no desire to sit through that. So we just decided to go with like a fucked up, like a cool, crazy movie.
Yeah, man.
So we're going to watch a movie called Vanilla Sky, which is super crazy.
Did you say we were doing Vanilla Sky?
Yes.
That's not true.
No, not Vanilla Sky. Oh my God. I said Vanilla Sky. Wait,
You
what is
did.
it? Liquid Sky. Holy shit. So, folks, I just cut all that out because that was terrible. We're going to do Liquid Sky.
I was like, wait a minute.
We can't do Vanilla Sky.
First
That
of all,
was-
it's a different 2002, I think, or
Sure.
one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute.
God.
Okay, Liquid
So
Sky.
we will be doing Liquid Sky. I don't even know how I'm going to cut around this. I'll just leave this in at the end. Just me
Why not?
picking different.
Maybe you got high on your bong.
That's
I'll
right.
do it
My.
again. I'll do it again. Hold on,
Can't
hold
even
on.
do it. There.
Wait, one more.
You can assume that there will be bong noises from Jamie, much like those, throughout the entirety of this next episode. We're watching Liquid Sky. I should change that in my notes so I don't watch the wrong movie.
You're like, Tom Cruise was brilliant, and he looked so much older than when he was in Risky Business.
I mean, to be honest, he doesn't look that much older. He could probably fool me into thinking that this movie was from the 80s.
But he's not in Liquid Sky, so forget
He's
it.
not in Liquid Sky.
No.
I don't know who's in Liquid Sky. It seems crazy. I can't wait to watch it. Vanilla Sky, my God. That's a real mistake on my part. Their bong noise is just somebody drowning, basically.
In their bong water because they're flash dancing. Flash dance.
They dumped the bong water in their head and then
Yes,
shook it
yes.
all around.
It's what happens if your hair's too short to shake it out, right? You're like this.
Well, guys, get ready for this much nonsense next time. I'm going to talk about Joey Lawrence for a good 10 minutes. Jamie's going to make those noises, whatever they are. She spilled all over her desk, I guess.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh my god.
If you thought we may have seemed a bit out there for this one, wait for our 420 episode.
Join
everybody.
us. Exactly. This is just the beginning.
All right, we will talk to you again in 2 weeks when we watch Liquid Sky, not
Correct.
Vanilla Sky. Don't watch that. If you want to watch Vanilla Sky, watch the original Spanish version, still with Penelope Cruz. It's better because Vanilla Sky is not that good. Okay.
All
folks,
right.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Good night, or flash dance.
Hurts when there's nothing but a slow glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone I have cried silent tears full of pride in a world made of steel, made of stone. Where I hear the music, close my eyes, feel the rhythm, wrap around, take a hold of my heart. What a feeling, feels believing. I can't have it all now, dancing for my life. Take your passion.
I'm not a baby!
I had Paula Abdul Reeboks. I had a pair of sneakers that were
Wait,
called.
she had
Paula-
shoes?
Yeah, they were double tongued. They had two tongues.
Why?
I don't know.
Wow, that's awesome. Like two on top of one another, not like
Yeah.
split like a snake's
No,
tongue.
split like a snake's
Oh,
tongue.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
And-
so cool.
Yeah.